The story of Fort Jesus is a story that will be told to generation and generations to come. Since this huge building was built in 1593 through an order from King Philip I of Portugal to safeguard and protect the old port of Mombasa. The designer of Fort Jesus, Giovanni Battista Cailato, was inspired by Italian architect Pietro Cataneo, while the master builder was Gaspar Rodriguez. The fort was Cailato's last overseas works. Although the designer of Fort Jesus is an example of the Renaissance architecture, the masonry techniques, building materials, and labor are believed to have been provided by the local Swahili people. The Fort Jesus was built in a shape of a man and is lovely square with four bulwarks at its corners. Here is our tour guide Hassan Ali, who is going to take us around this place, and he is now explaining to us how the structures looks like through a model that has been built on the gate or at the gate of Fort Jesus.
Hii ni mwili ni hapa katikati kwenye mnaona viti. Hii ni mguu wa kushoto na hii ni mguu wa kulia. Hii miguu moja kwa mguu hapa ndio ile sehemu kwa kule. Alafu hii sehemu ya huku ni kule mwisho. Kwa hivyo hii sehemu yote ilikuwa ni jiwe kari 2.5. Ilikuja likachongwa likatengenezwa kama hii model ambayo tunaona. Ilichongwa mwaka huu 1593, ambao wafanyikazi ambao walifanyishwa hii kazi walikuwa ni Mijikenda kutoka Old Port. So walishikwa na hawa Portuguese ama Wareno kama maslaves kufanyishwa kazi ya kuchonga hii sehemu iwe kama msalaba wa Yesu. So ilichukua miaka 3 kutengenezwa kutoka 1593 mpaka 1596. Wenye walikuwa wakifanya hii kazi walikuwa kilipwa chakula tu after the end of the work. Sasa entrance ya hii Fort Jesus kama venye nilikuwa nawaambia ya mwanzo, ndio hii mashine ilikuwa hesabu watu. Njia zingine ziko huku kwa kichwa, hii ndio bahari. Hizi njia hizi zilikuwa zikitumika za kupitisha silaha, vyakula na manguo. Wakati huo hii bahari ndio ilikuwa the main entrance to the old port there. Na hizo meli zao zilikuwa zikisimama huku, ndio hizo vitu vinaletwa huku. Sasa hawa Portuguese walikuja wakatolewa na Waarabu hapa ndani. Waarabu waliingia hapa mwaka wa 1698, walikuja wapige na wakawafungia hizi njia za kuleta hivi vitu, hizi silaha kwa miaka 2 na miezi 9. Wenye walikuwa humu ndani hiyo miaka yote walikufa na njaa. Baadaye tukapata maskeleton. Kuna skeleton moja ilipatikana hapa katikati ambayo sasa tumeipreserve, lakini si ile ya ukweli. Ile ya ukweli ilikuja ikamalizika kaisha, lakini sasa tumeweka replica. Skeleton nyingi tulipata ile sehemu ya kule ambapo kuna madirisha meupe. Hii ndio kanisa ambapo Portuguese walijenga, ndio maana ipo Jesus ikiitwa ngome ya Yesu.
Kwa hivyo kuna mpaka kanisa
hii church, lakini Waarabu walipokuja kuwatoa hii kanisa walivunja, sasa ni ruins. Alafu hapa kando tutaona visima viwili vya Portuguese. Kimoja kilitengenezwa na wao Portuguese, kilikuwa kando ya kanisa, kilikuwa mita 17 kwenda chini na 56 feet. Sasa Waarabu walipokuja kuwapiga na kuwatoa, hii kanisa yao ya hawa Portuguese walivunja pia. Na hii maji waliogopa kutumia, waliona labda wamekiwa sumu, wakachimba yao nyuma ya hii nyingine. Kwa hivyo hivyo visima sasa hivi kuna maji ya chumvi. Hizo maji ndio hiyo maji hivi visima ndio zinatumika hapa kwa hizo washing room. Kuna hiyo hoteli hapa watu osha mikono. Kuna hii miti huwa tunamwagia hiyo maji, tunafanya saiza zetu utegemea hiyo maji. Hii ndio museum. Hii jengo ndio ile pale ni mpya, ilijengwa 1960 na Uingereza, ambao pale tumehifadhi vitu vyote vya kitambo, kizungu tunaita artifact.
Fort Jesus was captured and recaptured at least 9 times between 1631, when the Portuguese lost it to Sultan Yusuf Ibn al-Hassan of Mombasa, and 1895, when it fell under British rule and was converted into a prison. A lot has been told again and again about this structure that stands in the middle of the Mombasa Island. After the Portuguese captured it from the Sultan in 1632, they refurbished it and built more fortifications, subsequently making it harder for the fort to fall. The fort was subject to an epic 2-year siege, from 1696 to 1698 by the Omani Arabs led by Saif bin Sultan. The capture of the fort marked the end of the Portuguese presence on the coast. Although they briefly captured and occupied it between 1728 and 1729, with the help of the Swahili city-states, the fort fell under local rule from 1741 to 1837, when it was again captured by the Omanis and used as a barrack before its occupation by the British in 1895 after the declaration of the Protectorate of Kenya. Fort Jesus was declared a national park in 1958, and in 2011 it was declared World Heritage Site. It was declared World Heritage Site by UNESCO and highlighted as one of the most outstanding, well-preserved examples of the 16th century Portuguese military fortification. The fort is Mombasa's most visited tourist attraction. So these are the guns that they used to use at that particular time when they were maybe attacked by the enemy. And they have been well described in this mirror. And you can see that they have been told, they have been described by both English and even Swahili. And they have said exactly what they mean. And you can see that they yell. It's through the mina, so sometimes some of them you cannot be able to see them so well. But every time that you visit Mombasa, you'd want maybe to come and see how the Portuguese and what they used to use when they were living here. You can come and see what they used to use as the guns at that time. Our tour guide Hassan Ali continues to explain to us how the structure was built and specifically the looms that are here in this Fort Jesus.
So mostly walikuwa kiketi hapa kama mitungu yao. Alafu hizi ni some of the weapons that it was used by the Arabs. Hizi ndio guns lakini zilikuwa zikitumia za mbao. Alafu hizi ni risasi zake.
Sasa hizi ni risasi zao zenye walikuwa wanatumia.
Hizi ndio risasi za Waarabu zenye walikuwa wakitumia kwa hii bunduki. Bunduki ya hiyo wakati ilikuwa ya mbao kama hivyo. Na hizi risasi zilikuwa zikitumika na gunpowder. Wanaweka gunpowder, wanaiweka hapa ndani, wanikoki bunduki. Ndio inaenda long distance wakiweka na hiyo gunpowder. So hii ndio walikuwa wakitumia, alafu kule mwisho tukiwa na visu na mapanga.
Zenye pia walikuwa wanatumia.
Zenye hizo ambazo walikuwa wakitumia. So also these are some of the weapons that it was used. Hii tunaita sword, hii ni dagger. Kwa hivyo hii ndio panga iko hapo ndani. So wanitoa ndio walikuwa wakitumia kwenda kuwataka our enemies, Portuguese soldiers. Ile kofia ya kuvaa kama walienda kwa vita ama kuna sherehe wanavaa hii. Hii imetengenezwa na some of the skin inaitwa rhinoceros skin. Ndio the first hats ambazo zilikuwa za maaskari wa Arabu. Hizi ndio tunaita daga. Hizi pia hutumiwa na Waislamu wenye wanaoa. Hii ni mshipi wa kufungia hii daga kwa kiuno na ile pia hufungwa kwa kiuno kwenye hiyo kisu. Kwa hivyo hizi ndio zile baadhi ya zile weapons ambazo zilitumiwa na hao Waarabu. Mfano wa hii venye inafungwa ni kama huyu mtu ambaye amefunga hapa kwa kiuno. Hii ndio tunaita daga, inafungwa hapa kwa kiuno na ile panga anashikilia. Kwa hivyo hizi ndio weapons ambazo zilikuwa zikitumika hapo zamani. Yeah. Okay. Alafu hizi ni picha za hao Uingereza na Waarabu walikuwa wakifanya meeting. Na hizi ndio Fort Jesus venye plan ilijengwa kitambo. Na hii inaitwa Baraki Pillar ambayo iko huko Liwatom, sehemu za bridge huko. Pia ni some of the historical sites ambao wageni huenda wakaangalia huko. So after here we go to the side of the game.
Our tour guide for today has told us that this was the boardroom where the Portuguese and their leaders and the captains would come and sit down to deliberate on issues on how they would defeat the enemy. We're talking of about many years ago, so many hundreds of years ago, when the Portuguese were here in this country, and when Vasco da Gama had created this Fort Jesus, the one that we are in today, and the one that our guide is continuing to show us on how it was. So this was the boardroom. Every time that they would have a meeting and a closed door meeting for that matter, you've seen that there are two doors out of this room. There's this door which is closed, and then there's another door which is also closed, and this is where they would come and sit down to deliberate on the way forward on what to do. So we are still continuing with this journey, and he is going to show us other places, and we are going to go with you until the end, so that you can understand the how Fort Jesus was built and the rooms and how it is inside the Fort Jesus in Mombasa.
In Kiswahili tunaita mishna because of the design how it was carved. And also when the Arabs came, when they chased the Portuguese, they started to build the wall again. They designed the wall at the top there as the Islamic thing. Kwa hivyo pale, so they used the material known as gunpowder. Limestone. I hope bado unachukua video. So they used the limestone powder, sand and water to build that part of the outside there. So and this one was an entrance where when the ships they dock outside there, they take those weapons and there's a private store we're going to finish it where they used to store their weapons. But later we take them, those cannons, we put them up there.
Oh, they are now up there.
Yeah, there's a special place we call it gun platform, where they used to where they used to arrange them, the cannons, facing the side of the ocean where they can attack the enemy ship. So here, this one was an armory where they used to store their weapons.
So this is where they used to put their weapons.
Weapons, the armory.
Inside.
Inside.
So we are going to enter?
Yeah, we want to enter inside.
But it is very dark. Oh, the ship doesn't work now. So we are already getting into where they used to put their guns. We've been told that when the ship would dock in the ocean, now they would get those guns and the armory from the ship. This is the loot that they would use to bring those ships or those weapons up to where they want to store them. But the special one for the special people and for the special captains, they used to be stored here in this dark room that we are already entering into.
Okay, so if you look up, this place doesn't build. It was just carved. So this one is we have this is the first room where they used to store those small guns. We are going to see them there at the upper side. And this is the place where they put those long guns that you can shoot a long distance like a 600 meters. So they used to put inside at this background. And actually this rock is a natural from ocean. We call it coral reef or coral rock. And it's a mix of the deadly plants and animals.
Was this now built or was it just carved?
It was just carved by the people.
It was carved by the people.
By the local people.
So this is not something that was built. This is a stone that was here. Now it was carved.
Yeah, it was carved at the shape of a cross at the cemetery in the model. So it took 3 years to be carved because it was.
According now to the history that you are told, it took them allowed 3 years.
3 years
for them to be able to carve it the way it is.
Yeah. The complete of this place, it took 3 years. From 1583, the time the Portuguese entered into Mombasa, to 1596, now it was complete at that side. Yeah. So those are the places where they can put their flames of the lights.
So you've told us that the long ones are the ones that were being put in this dark room.
Yeah. From here to that end there, because they are very long. The short ones are being put on the
first room, the first shelf. So this is exactly where they used to put those cannons. Those cannons,
cannons, the weapons, yeah.
And we are talking about how many years ago?
Those are the 1593. That is 428 years. That is 4 centuries. Yeah.
Almost four centuries, and still counting.
Yeah.
And the building is still intact.
Yeah. Only some small parts we done renovation, like a museum, and there's a room there. It was collapsed, the roofs. Now we renovate with the iron sheet. I'm going to show you after here. Yeah.
We are going to see all that.
So
But for this part, there is nothing that has changed for over the 400 years.
yeah, we only renovated it wire bulb, but does it work because of the switch there? It's damaged, but the itself here, it's just natural.
It's very safe.
It's safe because there is workers every day. They sweep, they put water so that no smelling.
So it is attended each and every day. So people like me who are somehow afraid of darkness should not be afraid.
Yeah, and also there's a caution papers like that.
I can see that there's some caution papers here.
So that you can.
Oh, that's why you need a tour guide, so that at least they can be able to show you everything everywhere.
You can you do not urinate. Some people
that's to do if they come here they feel blessed. They might have the place of they might feel that it is a good place for them to urinate. Yeah.
So those are the question of the information there. So it's safe.
Good. Thank you. So.
Okay. So we continue because this journey is very long, and we have
short time for us to do it. It's okay. So this is the tunnel that the Portuguese, the Arabs, and even the British used to ensure that they get their army to the Fort Jesus, and this is a tunnel that that was well designed to ensure that when they would import all their guns and the armory, that they would be able to smuggle them into the Fort Jesus without being noticed by the enemy or even the people who were fighting them at that particular time. Even the slaves that were being exported to other countries, to the Arab countries, this is the route that was being used to sneak them out of the country to the ships that were waiting in the ocean out there. This was now the watchtower.
It is mostly common by the soldiers of the Portuguese. They used to watch enemies from here who are coming inside here. So also they used to watch ships, those are crossing to the Holy Coast. So this is the part of the which is called the wire. So mostly the students look at the place where they live.
Okay, to see the enemy would come here.
So here, these are the units for the soldiers.
For the soldiers. This is the one that they used to
urinate.
Okay,
short cord.
Oh, okay.
And here, it's a part of the watching tower. The long one. And
this one.
The whole place. Just come this side. This is the watching tower. So they used to go inside there. Soldiers they used to climb up the small hole. They used to watch enemies from that part.
Oh, okay. So when they climb like this, then they would spend the whole day seated here, watching,
watch the enemies from there.
So from this part of this tower, now you can be able to see that there are two cars down there, and then there is the ocean. And regardless of how maybe the space is small, there's a good view that you can see the enemy coming. But for this particular time, because we do not have enemies that are coming, this is just to show you how good this tower was. This is at Fort Jesus. The tower has around 3 windows that you can that one could use at that particular time to be able to see the enemy coming. And remember, these towers or this watchtower is directed to the ocean, the Indian Ocean. And so if there was any enemy who was coming through with a ship, that is, then the soldiers of Vasco da Gama would be able to see them and be able to show you and be able to maybe to alert the others. This is the small window now that outlooks to or gives you the view to the old town of Mombasa, the Muji wa Kale as known. And you can see that from this part of where I'm seated, I can be able to see through this window but people who are outside cannot be able to see me because this was a watchtower.
This one was having a big hole here where they used to put the gunpowder. But this hole has been rust because of it's for long, these guns,
Yeah, yeah, that
around
is very
400
true.
years. So they used to put gunpowder there, and then they put the bullet in front of the gun, and then they ignite fire from the gunpowder. So it's explode, the bullet will move with the force of 500 meters, just hit the ship that is crossed through to the ocean there.
Oh, yeah, 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 that is true.
And that is the renovation done by the National Museum to protect this water from coming inside.
Oh, from coming inside. That's the job they are doing at now, eh?
Yeah, now by the Chinese people. They finished with the building of the Liwatoni Bridge, and now they given another contract to done the renovation of the that wall, sea wall. We call it sea
Yeah,
wall.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But so initially, the whole of this space we can see it was water that was running up to the
The
Fort
Fort
Jesus.
Jesus, yeah. In fact, those buildings, those during those days, there's no those buildings. That side it was water. So we have this we call it global warming. So this water is starting moving to the upper part there, the deep sea.
Okay.
So it leave the ground there. So the local people they decided to build houses there after the water moving.
Oh.
So we have those beautiful houses. We have the English Point Marina there. So people they going there, have the funds. We have the apartment whereby the tourists they can book there. Very expensive. But now the season is very down, so they decided to close those hotels.
Okay.
So actually, the For Jesus, the best place it was built, it was reaching here. But later, when the Arabs came, they decided
To extend it to
extend the wall, 3
okay,
meters.
okay.
So they designed the For Jesus as Islamic. And in this place that they put the guns, we call it gun platform. All the guns that they have been put it on this side of the head. And those ones who they use the the gun of the like Arabs, they use the guns. So they put the mount of the guns from this small hole.
Oh, from that small hole, eh?
Yeah, and also they use the swords, daggers. So they just put on this narrow hole here. So we are on the part of the head. So we go
So
through the other part.
okay, so this now is the hand.
The head.
Okay.
And that is the watching tower. So after every corner of the For Jesus,
There's a watchtower.
they build those watching tower. Ambayo ilikuwa na store.
Ile tumeiona sasa, hii ni ingine.
Hii ni ingine, hii inaitwa Passage of the Steps. Hii ilikuwa ikitumika ya kubeba vitu vikiletwa na meli kama vile vyakula, alafu manguo, ambapo maaskari walikuwa wakipitia na hizi stairs, wanapeleka hivyo vitu pale kwa ile nyumba juu kabisa. Ile ndio ilikuwa store ya Portuguese na Waarabu. Okay. Chini ilikuwa ni meeting room ile ambayo tumeenda kwa.
Ile yenye tulikuwa pale chini, eh?
And this one was a renovation done by the National Museum. People from falling down.
Oh, yeah, that is very true. So initially this wire mesh was not there.
Yeah, it was not there. It was having a wall here, but the wall later it collapsed because of the rainwater.
Yes,
and
of course.
This one doesn't build with the cement material of cement. It was built with the coral stone, powder placed under the water. And that building, I told you, it was a captain house, and the roof was covered with the grasses.
And you called him Captain who?
Captain Philip too.
He's the one who was living in that room.
Yeah, it was his house, in fact. Yeah. So
maybe before we continue, to set maybe the record straight for people who have never been here and who doesn't have the information about Fort Jesus. After it was made by Vasco da Gama, what happened?
In fact, Vasco da Gama is the one who came here in year 1498. Because of the language barriers with the local people of Mombasa, they decided him to chase him through this ocean. We call it Indian Ocean. So he was having a 4 ships with his colleagues, 160 soldiers. So he followed that part of the ocean through to the Malindi there. We call it. So after reaching Malindi, he was welcomed by the navigator by the name Ahmed Al-Majid. So he welcomed him there. He stayed after 1 week. But the main aim for the Vasco da Gama was seeking to see routes to India, where he can do his business of selling spices, clothes and also the slaves.
Mhm.
So he built the tower, we call it Vasco da Gama Pillar.
Mhm.
So most of the visitors, they're going there to see the Vasco da Gama
That
Pillar.
is in Maridi, eh?
That is in
Mhm.
Malindi,
Mhm.
where that is a peak pillar
Mhm.
showing the direction of the who the straight way to the India, where the Vasco da Gama followed that way
Mhm.
through to India. But in
Mhm.
1583,
Mhm.
the groups of the Portuguese, that the ones who captured this place, they captured the local peoples
Mhm.
to brought them here
Mhm.
to carve this place for
Mhm.
3 years. And I told you this place was actually rock, big rock, known as
Mhm.
coral reef.
Mhm.
So after Vasco da Gama leave the group, they captured those people, so they carved this place for 3 years.
Mhm.
Now, in 1960, it became the historical monument for the government now.
Mhm.
Actually, this place was taken with the three groups.
Mhm.
The first group was the Portuguese,
Mhm.
who came here 1593.
Mhm.
The second group, that the Arabs,
Mhm.
who captured this place in
Mhm.
year 1698.
Mhm.
So Arabs are the ones who chased the Portuguese here.
Okay, they are the ones who chased the Portuguese away.
So they
And
understood
it seems like they are the ones who occupied this building for many years.
for many years, around 300 years.
About 300 years.
So in fact, some of the Arabs intermarried with the local peoples of Mombasa, their old town. When you move old town, you see the people that are white, they look like Indians.
Yes, yes, yes.
And
yes.
there are ones who spread Islamic, the ones spread the modern dressing of the Arabs, so the Muslims, they must wear the white thing, we call it kanzu, the ninjas of the women. So they're mostly there to the old town. Yeah. So the last group that the British, 1895, this place, the British, that the ones who changed this place as a prisoner. Also, we have the women by the name Mekatili Wameza. She's the one who prison. We are going to see the room where she was prisoned by the British. Okay. So 1960, the British, they leave this place. So later the government, they decided this place to open as a historical monument. So now it's public for all over the world. People, they came, they see how this place this place was built. Yeah. So it was a government project now. So everyone you want to enter must pay 200 shillings.
If you're a Kenyan, if you're a
Foreigner,
foreigner.
1,200. And if you are outside country, East Africa, you pay 400. Like Uganda, Tanzania,
Tanzania
Rwanda,
and Rwanda,
Zambia,
Burundi.
those ones. Yeah.
Ah,
Okay. Yeah.
good.
So
Thank
now
you.
we start moving to the left arm of the model of the for Jesus. The one who stayed inside here. But now, there's some guy, he opened this place as a shop, kiosk. So he said,
The museum, they are the ones who opened this place as a.
no, yeah, so some guy, they want this place to open as a kiosk. So the museum instead, he decided to give him. So, as you see, but he.
Oh, there's some by the way.
Yeah, some drinks there. So mostly those times, this is the place where Baston or the captain used to sit on and we watch enemies from here. We have those white pillars.
The white pillars, like this one that you can see, and there are
There's
there.
that one. So those ones was built by the Portuguese during those days. The main purpose was used to guide or to direct the ships from entering to the old harbor. We have the old harbor in that side.
We have the old harbor here.
But the new harbor,
Now the Kiridini harbor on the other side of the
The other side.
okay.
so we have the new pillar, we call it lighthouse. The green one and the red one. So actually, as I told you, this place was water. But later, when the global warming, the water leaving this sea, some people decided to use those houses. And this is an hotel known as Four Seasons Hotel.
Oh, Four Seasons Hotel.
Very nice hotel, but because of the seasonality, the owner of the hotel decided to close that hotel.
To close the hotel for now because of the seasons, eh?
Because of the corona. There's no tourists coming in. Mostly the Italians, they like that hotel.
But basically, when there was no COVID, there were so many guests who were coming to that hotel.
Yes. In fact, they came with when they're there, they get their boats and those they have those we call it
The motorboat. The
motorboat. So they cross, they enter through to the for Jesus through to other gate there. Yeah, it doesn't cross to the other Wangepata kuongea
So
nao.
they use their motorboats to cross to this side of okay.
They pay there the embassy.
Okay.
So now it has been closed.
And because of COVID.
And this is the renovation.
The innovation that is now going on.
So they're still putting stones there
To ensure that there will be no water that will be coming this way.
destroy the monument.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and this the first building here, that is the Mombasa. The first building is the connection of the internet fiber optic. Hiyo ambayo imepita chini ya maji kutoka South Africa, ingia hapa, hapo ndio kuna internet nzuri. Hata kuingia kwa wifi iko on vizuri. The next building that is Mombasa Hospital.
From this point, of course, very beautiful scenery can be seen, and the skyline of the ocean can be seen. And our guide has told us that the Fort Jesus is very close to the Mombasa Hospital and even to the optic cable offices, where the optic cable we can see the starting point of the optic cable that serves the whole of our country.
Zile kubwa.
Oh, hizi sasa ni zile kubwa kuliko zile zingine ndogo
Zingine ndogo kama hizi.
Oh, sasa hiyo ndio unasema ilikuwa ina shoot long distance
like 400 meters, 600 meters. Ndio inaenda hapo.
Hapo.
So those wires zimekuwa sahihi kuprotect sana kama watoto kama hao
wenye wanaweza anguka
wanaweza anguka, wenye wanakuwa na mabagi zao waweza jisahau wakaziangusha hapo, na huko underground huko na watu wao wanapata hizo breeze za ocean.
Okay.
So wakiona bagi imeanguka wanaweza epa nazo.
That's true.
So zimekuwa hizo kuprotect, and that is the watching tower. So
another watch tower.
Yeah, after the corner of the Fort Jesus we are going to see them different towers. Kama hiyo ni kwa stara kwa kuja hapo ndani. So during those days this house was used as a kitchen, It was used by the Portuguese as a kitchen. The women from Mijikenda people there, they used to prepare soldiers' food from here. But later, 1895, this place was changed by the British as a prison. So we have that women, I told you by the name
Mekatili Menza.
She was prisoned here. Later, there's a guy, he opened this place as a shop. But because of the corona,
of the COVID, and okay.
The rent of this place is very expensive, like 30,000.
Like 30,000 per month?
30,000. And those are the chimneys. So they put the firewood here, they put the containers of the Koreas, and then those are the chimney brought smoke.
Okay, for the smoke.
So after the food is ready, they just put here on the shelves. They serve soldiers to roll the windows there. Okay, so it's vacant. If you want to take this shop
for 30,000, what will I be selling here?
You can change it like also hotel. You can do it like
that is very true.
A shop for selling spices.
And people will come from all over and buy,
Yeah, buy. So this door, we call it the Zanzibar door. It was given as a victory. So after the Arabs they want to chase this Portuguese, they given this door as a victory from Zanzibar. So this door actually is as a decoration of Islamic things. This one here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one symbolizes 5 daily prayers. Muslims they pray 5 times per day, and this one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This symbolizes 6 pillars of Iman. And in Christianity we say the 10 commandments of God. In Indian they have the 11 commandments. We have the information written at the top there, and that is the Islamic information. It say in al-fatakna lakafatakna mubinan. Verily we have given you a clear victory. In Kiswahili bila shaka tumekwisha kupa kushinda kuliko dhahiri. The flower itself symbolizes peace. So Muslims have the strong peace. So this door, when we go to the old town, there's a carpenter that made the same door like this, but they sell very expensive, like 250,000 shillings.
Okay, for that door.
For that door.
Okay.
Naona show iko karibu kuanza. So we go to the other parts. We want to go and see the skeleton, and then these guys they're about to start their show because our ticket is only for Jesus.
Not for the show.
But for the show is 700. You must pay another.
Okay.
if you are willing. If you are
Mhm.
not willing,
Mhm.
we want to complete this side of the skeleton
Mhm.
plus the church here,
Mhm.
and then we have the well there, and then we move to the other part. Lakini huwa iliingia watu wengi ya watu 10
Okay.
because of the currency iko juu. 700, that is a lot of
That's
money.
true. Yeah, that is very true.
So this is the church that it was
That is the
built,
church. This is now the church.
the church of the Portuguese.
Mm-hmm.
The ruins, this church was destroyed with the Arabs when the Portuguese,
When they came, of course,
Yeah.
because they would not need a church.
yeah.
That's
So,
why they had to destroy the church.
yeah. So
Mhm.
they need only
So
more.
these are now the ruins that were left.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this one was a well that it was used with the Portuguese.
The well
The well
for fetching water.
for fetching water.
Mm-hmm.
In your other language, you call it a system literature.
Mm-hmm.
So during those days,
Mm-hmm.
there is no machine.
Mm-hmm.
Rotate. So there's no machine. So they just tie the buckets with a rope. They drop the buckets there down. So they fetch water through those systems. We call it a system literature. When the Arabs came, they feared to use this to water for the Portuguese. So they dug their own well behind of this. So that these two wells serve our water. So we circle back to the public toilet there, and we have also the trees here. We penetrate the water.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to see the Omani well now.
The Oman well.
The other well for the Muslim. You can say for the Muslim.
Okay.
And this is the modern anchor. Mostly it was
This is the modern anchor.
anchor, yeah. For anchoring those big ships.
Ships.
From the port, yeah. Ferry, those, and the ships. They use this metal, we call it castion, to anchor those big ships. Okay?
Okay.
So now we continue. I want to show you the Omani well.
The Omani well.
Yeah. Which was deeper compared to the Portuguese well. And this well was deeper 23 meters. 23 meters.
23 meters, eh?
Yeah, and 76 feet.
76 feet, 23 meters.
So if you go there, you can see the water from there.
So good. I don't know whether you can be able to see the water. We've been told that this is the Oman well, and they built this well in 1698. It was in 1698.
Yeah, it was carved in 1698.
So it was carved in 1698, more than 400 years ago. And this is the Oman well. And when the Arabs could not use the Portuguese well, the old well that is there, they dug their own well, and this is the well that they dug. It's about 23 meters deep, and this is where they used to fetch their own water for use when they were living here in the Fort Jesus. So we are still continuing with our journey around Fort Jesus with our guide Hassan, who is doing such a good job explaining to us and everything. So this is a skeleton, Mr. Hassan.
Yes.
This skeleton is for what?
This one was a Portuguese soldier, a priest. We found this skeleton here in 1960. But actually, this one was not real bones. The real bones was buried at the end of the replica. So, among the Portuguese, among the Arabs, when they came here in the year 1698, they fought with the Portuguese. So, and this one was a priest who was killed by the Arabs. And we found the real skeleton was found here. It was having a ring of a jewelry with a cross of a chain.
And that is what maybe it was used to indicate that he was a priest.
He was a priest. He was a Christianity. And actually, this one was a Christianity burial. When they buried the dead bodies, the head facing the side of the west, the hand they fold together on the stomach.
Yeah.
And also the legs, they
put together.
When the Muslim they buried, the head facing the side of the north, the other side. Oh yeah. So this is the Christianity Catholic burial of the Portuguese. Okay. So as I told you, it's not real. It's just a replica, and it's a clay and some branches of timber.
So that was used to model this.
Model. And that is the Omani house.
Oman House.
Because of the time, I think this house now it has been closed.
Okay.
But actually, this is the place where
Mhm.
Oman, the king of the Oman, used to stay inside there.
Mhm.
So there we have the different artifacts of the Oman. The molded dressing,
Mhm.
the spices that it was used during these days, like dates, cinnamon, black pepper.
Mhm.
Those are the things that are inside of the Oman house.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the ship that it was used, like the one is
The one that's there.
Mm.
That was a little ship or
It's
just a model
it's a model for design.
to indicate how it was. Eh?
Yeah.
And what is this now?
So this one was a baby well. It's a bones of a baby well.
Baby?
Baby well. In
Uh-huh.
Kiswahili we call it nyangumi.
Oh, nyangumi.
Nyangumi.
Ah.
So this is the part of the head, the spinacles. This is the ribs, and that is the part of the tail.
Okay.
So it was found daily on the shore of a place known as Kikambale, northern coast of Mombasa.
Kikambara.
Kikambala, that is the side of the Kilifi County. So actually, the people there, you found a big animal like a hill. So they starting to push him at the side of the shore of ocean. It takes 9 hours that side. So the people there, they cut the meat of this well. So after later, the policemen, the KWS, after they finish to cut the meat, those local people, policemen, they went there with the lorry, carried all the bones, and now they got here for just showing the people.
Okay, how it was, eh? Ah.
So this is the baby now. And in the full grown up, we have the pictures here.
Oh, you have the okay.
This is the mother of the baby whale, and that is actually the baby one. And those ones are the dolphin.
Oh, these are the dolphins. So this is not a dolphin.
Yeah,
the bones do not belong to a dolphin, eh?
No, it's not belong to dolphin. It's a whale. This one, and it's
this one.
And this is the mother, and this is the father.
Okay.
Those dolphins, you found them on the south coast of Mombasa, known as it Shimoni.
Okay.
Shimoni and Wasini. If you go to that beach, you found the dolphin there. And this is the information, actual information of how the whale there living. During those days, there's no motorbike. So mostly the soldiers and the local people, they use this kind of the trolley. We call it trolley. So it was using a rally. So mostly the local people, they just tie the rope here. They pull it with the force. So when the soldiers, they put their luggages inside of the camel. And this one we call it a trolley line. Trolley line, this one was used to carry soldiers like captain and his queen normally sits at the center. The other side, the bouncers, they sit on the other side. So the local people just push him at the back there. So he brought him to where he want to go, like he want to go to the marketing, shopping. So normally sit on that.
It was also using trolley.
Trolley, yeah, like rally, not trolley, using rally.
Oh, the lil.
These
are the lils that it used to use.
Yeah. Okay. So that
so
one.
When I'm seated here now, I'm a captain.
Yeah, at the center, not the other side.
Oh.
So those other side, that are for bodyguards. Eh?
For the bodyguards.
Bodyguards.
Here.
Yeah.
The center here is where
the captain used to sit. Yeah. Behind of the trolley, the local peoples now, the Mijikenda people, they used to push the king to where he want to go, like marketing, want to go and meet with the girlfriend, must pushed behind of that. Yeah. Okay. Now you are captain.
Now I'm a captain.
But there's no local people who will push you.
And I've been told that this is the chair that the bodyguards used to carry him on. If he wanted to go to the market or even to go and meet other soldiers, they would use this chair to carry him. The bodyguards will sit on either side of the captain, on this side, on the other side, and then the soldiers or the people around who are slaves, of course, would use this thing to carry the captain around and to go and show him the places that he wanted.
But it was collapsed later.
Uh-huh.
When the Arabs came,
Uh,
they don't want to use this barrack,
uh-huh.
so they leave it. And
Uh-huh.
then later they collapsed.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So they left them to collapse, eh?
Mm-hmm. And now at the back of the this one, the barracks was only that's our washing room.
Okay,
there,
okay. So that at least when people come and visit this place, they don't have to struggle looking for somewhere to ease themselves. Okay, they are free of charge. Mm-hmm.
So here we have the cannon ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the bullet that was used during the war, and this is the cannon ball.
That is the bullet that was used.
Yeah, and it was heavy, around 10 to 8 kilogram, and this is the cast iron. So mostly this one they just put inside of the cannon. They put the gunpowder in the back of the cannon, and then they keep firing the gunpowder to explode, and that bullet will move with a force of 400 meters. Just hit the ship, destroy it, make the ship, the water moving inside of the ship sink, and all the soldiers will drown in that ocean there.
Okay.
Okay.
So we can say that those people are very much prepared in case of anything. In case an enemy would come, they were fully prepared for war.
Yeah. So these are the examples. This is the real cannon gun. Yeah, but this is not actually the place they used to fire. They put at the front
in those towers, eh?
We call it gun platform. Yeah.
Okay.
So you just put gunpowder and there. So the National Museum decided to put these cannons here, facing the side of the wall, to show people how it was used.
Okay.
Yeah. So now we are about to finish, and that is a gunpowder room. A
gunpowder room.
Yeah. A gunpowder. It's very explosive. It is if it is getting more heat, it explodes.
Okay.
So they decided to put at the upper part. So now if it gets more heat, it explodes. It doesn't destroy many things. Yeah. That's so that is a special store for storing those gunpowder. But because there's this show, there's a fireworks. So we want to connect fireworks up. Okay. So there's a connect.
This was a gunpowder store that was built almost at the top of this Fort Jesus because of the explosive nature of the gunpowder, and the art was or the design was because when the gunpowder maybe gets heated and explodes, it goes up instead of breaking or bringing some weaknesses to the building of the Fort Jesus. And so people would come and store their gunpowder here. Remember, the gunpowder is the one that they were using each and every day to ensure that they fight the enemy. Of course, these are some of the pictures that we took for you in order for you to be able to see what was happening. This is outside the Fort Jesus. So when you come here, this is the first place that you get. And from here, you can get a good view of Fort Jesus and how it was built. The height of this building is quite high. There is no one who can be able to climb to the top of this building. And this building was designed this way to ensure that the enemies, remember this building was only captured more than 9 times by the British, by the Arabs, by the Portuguese. And so there was a need for the designer to ensure that the walls that they are going to make were to be very high, to ensure that the enemy would have a hard time thinking of how to capture this big house or this big building that was used to fight the Arabs, the British, and even the Portuguese. At a time, as our Hassan Ali, our tour guide, has told us, that the British captured this building and renovated it and made it to be a prison for people, or for people who were fighting the British at that particular time. And then there was also the recapture of the Omans. The Omans, they were the people who lived in this building for quite some time. And they are they are the people who dominated this building for quite some time. So this is exactly how the Fort Jesus is. It's a monument now, a national monument that was started. It was started to be a monument in 1958, as it was indicated, and you can see that the Fort Jesus National Monument is inscribed on the World Heritage List of the Convention concerning the protection of the world's cultural natural heritage. And there is so much that has been written about Fort Jesus. And this is one of the places that you need to come and visit every time that you come to Mombasa. And make sure that you come and visit Fort Jesus, full of heritage, full of information, full of things that maybe you'd want to know about the history of our country and the history of colonization of the African nations. And we can say that it's one of the buildings that can shape our African stories each and every day. That most of the Mombasa people can only be able to refer to this building as their origin, because when the Arabs came and captured this building, that is when they were able now to spread to the rest of Mombasa. And today, most of the parts of Mombasa has been owned, or we can say that it's a city that has been owned by so many Arabs descendants and people who are one way or the other connected to the Arabs. And you can see that this is where they came first. When they captured this building, they were able now to extend to the old town of Mombasa, and commonly known as Muji wa Kale, before they are able to now extend to other parts of the Mombasa and the other parts of the coastal province, as well as the other parts of the country. So this is one building that will always be custodian of our history and the custodian of our heritage, we as Kenya, knowing very too well that our African stories will only and will always have a connection with the colonization that happened in our country. And even before the colonization, we can still see that 1598, 1596, 15 something, 16, 17th century, even 18th century, that this building was still there in force, and people were still using this building. The Portuguese were using this building, the British were using this building. You can see it has a flag of Kenya, which is an indication that now it can never be recaptured, or it can never be captured by any other community, because of the peace that prevail in Kenya. And when you see that flag, you are rest assured that our country is a peaceful country, and this monument now can only stand here as a remembrance of our history and as a custodian of the things that were used. There are some people who come here in the evening, and we've been told that they conduct some shows here inside the Fort Jesus. They have rented a place where they come and conduct their shows. And this is just the beautification that they are starting. They come here each and every day, as we have been shown. And this is just some projections that they are doing in welcoming people from all walks of life here in Kenya and even outside our country to come and join them in their shows. Of course, when you get into their shows, you have to pay an extra amount We were to pay that amount, but because of time, we would not be able to do. And so these are pictures that indicating or showing the walls of Fort Jesus, the prominent building. This is the tunnel that we were talking about, the tunnel that they use, and this is their staircase that they would use to take the slaves out of our country using that tunnel that they had built. And so we hope that you have enjoyed all this journey throughout the journey that we have been able to be taken by our tour guide Al Hassan, and we've been able now to see all the things that the British, the Portuguese, and even the Sultan himself used to use when they were living in this magnificent building, the building of Fort Jesus, located at the east coast of Mombasa Island, very close to the ocean, because and very close to the old port, because there was the old port, the small port before the Kiridini Hamba, and we can see that the old port is the one that the Portuguese were trying to protect at that particular time, because they had their own parochial interest with the port at that particular time. When the British came and they colonized Kenya, they were able to capture the old port, and they were also able to capture the Fort Jesus. And today we can say that they are part of the history that we have, and we are where we are today because of everything that happened in the history. There's no way we can live without the history, and the history is well documented here, right inside the Fort Jesus in Mombasa, Kenya. So every time that you visit Mombasa, I've been here for several times, and every time that I come here, I'm able to see something different that maybe I was not able to see the other time. And so if any time that you come to Mombasa and you have got some time maybe to take a tour, this is one of the best places to come and ensure that you get into this monument. And now it's open. It was closed for some time because of the COVID regulations and protocols, but now business as usual is back, and they have opened back this place for visitors, for local tourists, even for international tourists to come and get into the Fort Jesus and see for themselves what used to happen. For now, they only charge 200 Kenyan shillings for adult people in Kenya, and 400 people for people who come from Eastern Africa, that is in Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi. So that was a magnificent tour that we were led by our tour guide Hassan, who has done such a marvelous job to tour us and to help us be able to understand everything that has been kept here in Fort Jesus, Mombasa. And these are the African stories that we keep telling in an African way. We as Kenmes Media TV, we say thank you very much for working with us all through in this journey that we were being taken by one Hassan. So thank you very much. God bless you. And every time that you come and visit Mombasa, make sure that you come and enter the Fort Jesus and see for yourself what happens inside the Fort Jesus. Thank you very much. God bless you. See you another time.